All right, welcome back. I want to show you guys a quick little trick here. So this Zycoy CG meter, let's flip this around here so I can kind of see what I'm pointing at here. There we go. So this let me get this filtering. So the Zycoy CG meter, this thing's been around for a while, but it also, you can get these angle sensors that you can put on various, like your flaps or your rudder or your ailerons or stabs, whatever, anything you want. And it has a couple features that you can kind of see it there. It's just a tilt, So the angle out, the toe out on these motors is pretty much set. Ain't much you can do for that. But what you do have the ability to adjust is the up and down. So what I was doing was trying to get a point like, whatever the center of the, your wing cord and all that stuff and your thrust line, trying to get these turbines with that. So what I'm doing is using one of these little guys hooked up to the Zycoy CG machine to get the same, oops, so let me back out of this, I hit a button. So you go to angles on it, and then it works. Cables. Be nice if we could get to a point in life where there's just one cable for everything versus three. I don't even know if that's possible. Probably not, because you gotta have power and you gotta have signal. So, anyways, all I'm doing is I took the FOD guards off, and I'm just sitting the motors with basically a flat edge against the starter housing, and putting the CG meter on there up against this so it's perpendicular and parallel. And then I just look over, says 4 degrees. Come to this one, and I've already set these, that's why. It's same thing, get it lined up, look over, 4 degrees, so bam. So now they're perfectly aligned to each other. And it's just another little thing you can use, another tool. Tip for hits kind of deal, and I don't know if that's what that is compared to the thrust line, I don't know. But if you set these things back here on the actual thrust vector nozzles, they're showing 8. So they're up a little bit, but there ain't much you can do. I mean, you could go back more, but I don't think that's going to affect things. So we've got a little bit of an up, which is fine. But yeah, I just want to show you that. So the motors are in now. The only thing I have to do that I haven't done yet, I'm going to take this off now since I don't need this. I got my hands again. Is orientation. So it's crazy how these two motors are like within 4 of each other's on serial numbers, but has a little bit different colors, and then the starter is a different kind of color, machined a little different. That's funny. But so, because the RPM sense, and I already mentioned this too, the RPM sensors look at the there's like a little nut, the compressor nut that holds the compressor on, has a magnet in it, and that's what the ECU's on the actual header board on top of the motor here. And there's an RPM sensor that points and looks at this, so it's got like a cone, it kind of reads out like that. So it picks up but the problem is if it's pointed at this one, like this would be your worst case, man. These things are like pointing at each other. So you'd pick up the opposite engine, RPM, if you're not careful. So it causes some crazy stuff. And I had to look back in my previous threads, and Gaspar, I'd asked Gaspar about this years ago, like when I built the first one. He said 11, and he said the 11 and 5 o'clock position for this. So this one will shift down to about right here, and this one will shift down to about, so it's reading, the cone will kind of go this way, and the cone will go that way. So you'd think vertical. I mean, if you get it 12 and 6, that'll work too. but people say, well, if you put it over here facing this way and this one facing that way is the best thing. I don't know. Like I said, I don't build and design these things, so that's just what he told me. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rotate these now that I got them hard mounted. They're just held in. Like I said, the bottom goes into that little channel, and then you just put 2 screws at the top there against the rail, because they lay over onto this rail on each side, and you just put 2 screws. It makes it really easy to remove the motors, man. You just open this hatch, 2 screws, and it comes right out. So it makes life easier. I think I'm going to go back and pull these 2 servos out for the thrust vectoring and put the 300 ounce servos on there. I think that's probably more than enough just for thrust vectoring, considering I'm not trying to hover this thing. It's always going to be active. So we'll see how that goes. If it burns up or something like that, or it seems like it's not, not working well, I can always put the higher ounce. 200 more, 500 ounces just seems excessive, But then again, when you don't have proper mechanical advantage, sometimes you have to go with more torque just to compensate. But I think we'll be okay, and I can use the nice heavier torque servos on something else. So, but that's it for this little video. I'm going to go through. I got one more screw to put on this one, and then I'm going to take them back out. You got to loosen the straps a little bit, and then rotate them where they need to be, and change those servos real quick. And then I'll kind of get back, which will pretty much close this up. I want to go ahead and put the stuff in back here. Oops, sorry for the camera. I got to work on paying attention what I'm doing. Go ahead and you can kind of see it now that I got the motor in here. So there's your exhaust cone, and then right here, straight over from that is that opening. And it's probably so far away that it's not a factor, but I just take a little piece of ceramic blanket and put right over that. That'll, because the wires are going to run through here. That way, if there's any hot start or flames or fuel that kind of puddles out and catches, it gives it a little bit more protection. So that is one good thing about having tail mounts. You get some kind of fire, you don't have to worry about pipe collapsing, and if you get a fire, it's kind of blowing out the back, and you probably won't, unless this all burns over here, you may be okay. But it does have metal blocking this area. So, but all right, there you go. So that's it for this one, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Probably at that point, I'll probably be putting the fuselage on the table and starting there. I'm putting a linear actuator on the canopy, open and close, plus the canopy lock has an actuator as well. And those are the little mods I got to do to the fuselage, but that's about it. So you guys take it easy, and I'm gonna get back to it later.